So I just got back from Spider-Man Far From Home, and this was directed by John Watts, and it stars Tom Holland, Sam Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Marissa Tomei, along with Zendaya. And if you like this video and you want to see a lot more of this, guess what? I do this all the time. So subscribe right down here, and make sure that you comment down below if you have seen this movie. Let me know what you thought of it, because I am interested in knowing your thoughts. Let's keep the spoilers off of this video, just because of the fact that I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't seen the movie yet. And getting into my thoughts of this movie, I will say that I actually like it a little better than Homecoming. I really felt like we were watching two separate movies with Homecoming, where you had the Vulture storyline and you had Peter in school, and they never really intermingled until way later on in the movie, and I just felt like I needed them to really bring the two plots together with this new film and really find a way to just really make it feel like it's more cohesive and a better scripted story. And that is something that this movie does. While you have Peter going on his summer vacation with his school and his friends over to Italy and Venice and Paris, all of that, you also have the plot line with Mysterio and the Elementals. And they tie those two storylines together very well, in that it really had a energy and an expediency that the original Homecoming movie just lacked. I really felt an urgency to really get to the plot of this movie, where in Homecoming it just wasn't. Tom Holland is great as Peter. He is the best Spider-Man in my opinion, and in many other people's opinion. And he really gets to flex more of his acting muscles here and really show us a different side of Peter. This is a more weary, a more mournful Peter Parker, just because of the events of Avengers Endgame. Tony Stark is no more. Spoilers for Endgame, but hey, everybody's seen that movie. And now Peter has to learn to deal with that and figure out who he is as a person and as Spider-Man without that comfort blanket of having Tony there all the time. And that is a really interesting dynamic that I kind of wish that they would have focused more on here. But for what we did get, I genuinely did like it. And I am sorry if you guys hear the fireworks going on right now, but it is close to the 4th of July, and my neighbors are insane. But anyway, and along with that, you also have Peter's relationship with his friends in school growing now. He is interested in MJ, who is played by Zendaya, and she is actually very good in this movie. And I wasn't sure how their romance would play, but here, in the way it is presented, it is very quirky, but it is also very genuine, and I do like their relationship. It isn't your typical Spider-Man relationship with MJ, but after seeing that time and time again, we do need something different, and I do feel like this is very, very good. And all Peter's friends from the first film are brought back here, and they all have very unique quirks and tics to them that make them feel very much like millennials. And this is a very millennial film. It kind of made me feel old, to be quite honest with you. But I do feel like if you are accepting to that and you kind of let these characters in, you will find a very endearing quality to all of these characters that I genuinely do enjoy. And we can not go any further without talking about Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal in this character is unbelievable. And I do feel like, acting-wise, he gives this his all, and I don't feel like it marches to the top as far as the best Marvel villains, but he definitely stands tall as a very good villain. He's complex, and he finds a kindred spirit with Peter that is kind of heartwarming, and it really gives Peter a person to kind of vocalize his issues that he's having to, and it helps Peter, and that is something that is really interesting for this character. The action here is also stepped up from Homecoming. I will say that just the staging and the shot composition in Homecoming, when it comes to action, is kind of shoddy. And I do feel like it is because of our director here. He had just directed one other film at that particular point in time. Now, I do feel like he kind of comes to his own in this movie. The action is a lot more engaging, and it is just shot and lit a lot better. And I do feel like for here, this is a big step up also. But there are some drawbacks here, and the big one is the comedy. And that trickles down into many different aspects of this whole entire plot that happens. I can't get into all of them without getting into spoilers, but I will just say that when you have a movie that hinges on a certain plot point or a twist, a plot twist, and it is kind of played off as a joke, it really rubs me the wrong way. Specifically with this kind of plot twist. I don't want to get too much into it, but literally, it's just one of those things where you don't feel like the movie is taking itself as seriously as it should for what is going on screen, and it comes across very disingenuous. And some of the things in this movie definitely do come across that way. And then when you get into these characters and their reactions to things during comedic parts of this movie, it just doesn't feel like the way that those characters would react at that point in time. And it just really, comedy has become too much in Marvel films, and I really wish that they would dial it back. This movie really sets up who Spider-Man will be to the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. And it is a very important movie to see if you are interested in Spider-Man, the character. I don't agree with all the choices that they make for him in this movie. It's definitely interesting, and it will provide storylines that are very different going forward, but for me, there are specific beats that don't feel like Spider-Man to me. And that's the thing. We have seen so many incarnations of Spider-Man in such a short amount of time that they definitely do feel like they need to mix things up. And when you do that, you just have to make sure that the character definitely remains intact. And I don't know if they did that here. But with that being said, I definitely did enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This movie is a lot of fun that does have its problems as far as plotting goes, but I do feel like is just a smidge better than Homecoming, and that is where I fall on that. And getting into the Atmos, I didn't see this in 3D, so I can't comment on that. But the Atmos quality is excellent, and so many height effects. There is an action scene in this movie where there is like a voiceover where you can totally hear that voiceover over your head in the Atmos speakers in the theater. I hope that gets translated into the home release, and I am definitely looking forward to that. So, coming up next on the channel, I do still have to review Us in Blu-ray and 4K, Ultra HD, and then go into Ghostbusters, and that will end the backup that the Batman films really did cause for me here. So, if you were excited about all of this, comment down below. Let me know about some things that you would like me to review coming up soon. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.